Hello everyone, welcome back to Barney's Anniversary Month. We are at the final part of the short-lived Barney's House era, so let's get rolling. My name is Dre, and let the imagination world of Barney's House do its thing one last time. Barney, let's go to the zoo. Well, what do you know? Not only it's another personal favorite of mine, but it's also the first installment of the Let's Go series. The video begins with the kids interviewed on what is their favorite animal at the zoo, and then after that, we get footage of people walking straight towards the zoo, and Barney, BJ, and Baby Bob magically arrived at the zoo and went to get their tickets at the ticket booth. As Barney got 4 tickets, Baby Bob never had been to a zoo before, but she is going to love it because there is a lot to see at the zoo. After singing "What Will We See at the Zoo," BJ asked a question about what's in a zoo, which has 2 legs, stripes, and a horn, and then all of a sudden, Miss Kepler showed up with her bike and greet the dinos to the zoo. When she's not working at the school, Miss Kepler works here in the summer as a zookeeper. If the dinos need anything, they will find her wherever she goes, and then she left to do some zookeeper duties. As they are walking, they spotted some flamingos and saw one of them stand on 1 foot, and we get some footage of kids trying to do the same thing. BJ got a picture of the flamingo and didn't turn out the way that he wanted. So after that, BJ talked about the mandrill briefly before cutting to the dinos, looking at the meerkats, and then counted them to see how many they are. And of course, BJ had talked about the tortoise briefly. BJ was about to put his camera in his backpack, but then Scooter McNutty was in his backpack the whole time because he wants to go to the zoo too, looking for some squirrels. Then Baby Bob brought out her elephant plush named Nellie and wanted her to see a real elephant, so they got their belongings and went on their way. BJ had came across the binoculars and they decided to see on what animal that he can find. The animal by surprise is a giraffe, where they're tall and have long tongues and they can reach up into the trees, picking up leaves. After singing "Growing," BJ got a picture of the giraffe, but with its tongue sticking out, which is pretty funny. Then BJ talked about the rhinos briefly and explains that the horns are made out of keratin, the same things as your fingernails. Then the dinos came across Miss Kepler and introduced them to Sean, showing them a porcupine named Felix. After that, Miss Kepler had got a basket full of fruits and vegetables for the animals to eat, and they sung "Have a Snack." After that, we come straight to the Scooter McNutty scenes where he was confused by some kids as a monkey. Then we cut back to the dinos trying to take a picture of Barney and Baby Bob. But then BJ laughed at that big tummy, and he wasn't talking about Barney. He was talking about the hippopotamus, where they spend most of their time in the water, and then we got some kids trying to open their mouth as wide as a hippo, and then the dinos made a hippo pun.
Hip, hip, hooray! Get it? Hip, hippo.
After that, BJ mentioned the buffalo briefly, and then they bumped into Miss Kepler and asked her where the elephants, and then she asked them to go into the jungle animal path, and they went on their way as the child chorus sings Jungle Adventure in the background. After spotting a parrot, which leads to the parrot saying Baby Bob's name, the dinos turn to the audience to guess what the next animal, as we get footage of kids roaring, and the animal who was the king of the jungle is a lion. After discussing facts about the lion, BJ tried to get pictures of them, but ended up getting a picture of Baby Bob instead. Then they went to the tiger area to see the tigers as they sang the tiger song. After that, they went to see a zebra, and once again, BJ's camera is playing tricks on him. Instead of a zebra, it was a person. We cut back to Scooter, still looking for the squirrels, but then he looked down and saw a warthog. After reciting the nursery rhyme, "This Little Piggy," as well as falling down into the mud, this random kid mistaken him for a monkey, while the warthog is laughing. We cut back to the dinos, and Nellie thought that she is never going to see any elephants, but then BJ saw the sign, and it led them to the elephants. And then we get to see some kids pretending to be elephants, and then they sang the elephant song. After that, BJ got some pictures of the elephants, and then one of them splashed BJ all soaked and wet. After that incident, they run over to Miss Kepler again and Sean, and they showed them a barn owl named Bernard. After giving some facts about the barn owls, as well as owl talks from the little dinos, Baby Bop talked about the sun bears briefly. After that, Barney had gotten Baby Bop and BJ some lemonade to drink to cool them off on this hot day, and then they went over to see the gorillas. Barney has given facts about them, and they can tell them apart because monkeys had tails while apes don't. And then they sang "Rock Like a Monkey," which made its debut here. After the song, BJ attempted to take a picture of the gorillas eating bananas, but then they throw the banana peel straight into BJ. Man, this video did him dirty, don't you think? Then we cut back to Scooter where he couldn't find any squirrels. And then Sean came by and thought that he was a monkey, but then with the level of intelligence, he knows that he's a squirrel. And then he wants to have those snacks that the monkeys are having. And then he called in this random girl, and she knows that Scooter is a squirrel. I guess she is pretty intelligent than the other kids minutes ago. We cut back to the dinos where Baby Bop is hopping about, liking the zoo, and Barney told her of an animal who likes to hop, and that would be the kangaroo themselves, and they come from Australia. Same for the koalas, where they spend their time in trees, eating eucalyptus leaves, and sleeping. Not only the koalas have to sleep, but also the animals have to sleep from time to time, so they sung "Everybody Needs a Nap," which also made its debut here. After that, they are waiting for BJ's pictures. And then Miss Kepler comes out, bringing the photos to them, and they turn out great. And with all the wonderful photos, it will remind them of the wonderful time at the zoo, as they sung a reprise of "What Will We See at the Zoo." After that, Barney thanked Miss Kepler for making the zoo a special place, and then after that, she left. And then Baby Bop wanted Nellie to be with the elephants, but Barney suggested that Nellie would rather stay with her because she's the one that loves her and takes care of her plush. After singing the famous song itself, they made a lovely farewell to the audience as they went back home. But as for Scooter, he helped out at the ticket booth to sell some tickets, and of course, this freaking kid confuses Scooter as a monkey again, leaving Scooter shouting at that child, bringing this video to a close. You may be asking yourself, why on earth did you put "Let's Go to the Zoo" as part of the Barney's House era? Well, I have to be consistent in terms of production orders, not to mention this line from Barney.
Well, we'll take you home for a nap just as soon as BJ's pictures are ready.
So I guess it counts. Filming for this video occurred at the Fort Worth Zoo in Fort Worth, Texas, and this was the first Barney home video to be filmed on location. Let's Go to the Zoo was chosen to be filmed at Fort Worth Zoo due to the proximity of Lyrick Studios and its historical significance. This served as the final project where Richard C Leach served as an executive charge of production prior to his death in May of 2001. This was the final project produced by Timothy Clott, who was the CEO of Lyrick Studios, and this was the final production where David Joyner and Duncan Brannon voiced and performed Barney the Dinosaur. Although Joyner continued to make his occasional appearances as the Purple T-Rex himself until 2005, and then briefly returned in 2008. In the screener copy of the video, they used the Lyrick Studios logo, but in the final product, it was the Hit Entertainment logo because obviously Lyrick Studios folded into said British company. This video would be released on August 28th, but the DVD release was delayed until April 8th, 2003. Same for the trailer. When it was released, the video debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Top Kid Video charts and number 5 on the Billboard Top VHS sales charts. And then, over time, Let's Go to the Zoo was the number 1 children's title on Video Scan's sell-through charts. This video would also have a little tour to promote the video called Barney's Zoo Tour in the US, UK, and Canada from July to August, and it was toured in Germany the following year, and it got a DVD release, and this has been on and off again on YouTube. If someone have this copy, please upload this back onto YouTube again. Oh yeah, and the actress who portrayed Child 4 would later portray the role of Jordan in the Season 7 episode, Play for Exercise. And this was the final appearances of Miss Kepler and Scooter McNutty, and what a way to go out for this scattered-brained squirrel. There are a lot of things to love about this video, such as the running gag of Scooter getting teased by numerous kids who called him a monkey, those funny animal pictures that BJ was taking, and BJ got splashed by the elephant as he was getting the pictures of them. Oh, and by the way, the 96 BJ costume was used briefly for that scene alone, just so that they won't have to damage the Lyrick era BJ suit. So overall, Barney, Let's Go to the Zoo is a great Barney home video, and it is another one of my favorite videos growing up. From the filming location of the Fort Worth Zoo, its catchy songs, the funny moments, and the animal facts, it's another video that I definitely would recommend. So for that, I will have to give Let's Go to the Zoo a solid 10 out of 10. Barney's Pajama Party. Well, here we are, folks. The final installment of the short-lived Barney's House concept. Barney, Baby Bop, and BJ were about to have a slumber party, and it is another word for sleep, where they can play, eat, and sleep. The three dinos had drawn pictures with crayons. Then BJ got a pizza and made Baby Bop popcorn. Then Barney made himself muffins. Then read the story, The Ant and the Grasshopper, looking at lightning bugs or fireflies out the window. BJ wishes that he can fly, but with some imagination, he can have a rocket flying all the way up to the moon. And when he grows up, he definitely wants to be an astronaut, while Baby Bop wants to be a cowgirl. Then they wanted to sleep outdoors, but it's raining out there, and the rain does wonderful things, and the two little dinos can still have fun indoors, and they wash their hands before getting ready for bed. And after their hands have been washed, Baby Bop got a toothbrush and they're going to brush their teeth. After brushing their teeth, Barney got his nightcap, even if it is a little bit silly, but it does keep his head nice and cozy, and then gives the two little dinos some nightcaps too. Then Baby Bop let Barney hold all of the plushies while she looked for her blankie, because without it, she will be shivering. Then BJ got a sleeping bag to sleep, because if it wasn't a bed, he'll be rolling out. Then Baby Bop wasn't tired yet, so she done some hops. And then after that, they wanted to hear a bedtime story, so Barney reads The Tortoise and the Hare. And then after the story, they looked at the window and they are glad that the rain had stopped. And now they can hear the crickets and all of the sounds of nature, featuring clips in between from Barney and Friends seasons 5 and 6. After all of that, they had a great and a totally awesome slumber party. So after singing the famous song itself, the two little dinos went to bed, and of course, the audience, which is us, went to bed too, while Barney turns down the lights, followed by Barney's line,
And remember, I love you.
bringing this clip show to a close. Before I talk about the stuff that I like in this clip show, why not discuss the facts? First of all, this was the final appearance of Barney's house, and then after that, the concept was scrapped in favor of the park setting. This was the final video to use the test version of the I Love You arrangement. This was the final Barney video to have a preview announced by Earl Fisher, although he would occasionally do the trailer narrations in a few Barney home videos until Let's Pretend with Barney. The video would be released for a few days before production, producing, and filming of Season 7 of Barney and Friends would begin. This was the final time that Jeff Brooks performs BJ, and of course, Antoine Steele's only video to perform Barney the Dinosaur. Although before this, Steele served as the mascot of the St. Louis Rams, and then he began performing Barney during Barney's Musical Castle. And then, not only that he would be performing Barney in the video, but also in the 2000 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And then 9 years later, he would perform the character again in Barney Live in Concert Birthday Bash. But we're not going to talk about it once we get to the last section of the series. As for the costume itself, well, it is similar to the Season 4 suit and the one in Barney's Musical Castle, but it has a pear-shaped head that gradually becomes smaller, his feet are smaller, and his legs are longer. Nothing to say about this design of Barney. That was used only in this video, and it's an alright Barney design, I suppose. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this was the first video where Tim Dever voices Barney alone, both talking and singing. But once we get to the last half of the I Love You song, they used an archival recording of Bob West that was taken from Barney's Musical Castle. And once again, there is not an explanation as to why they have to use Bob West's recordings. This video would be released in 2001, and then it had a few releases under its belt internationally on VHS and DVD in Spanish and Arabic. There are so many things to like about this clip show, such as the funny moments here.
I ate that much every night, I'd end up with a great big tummy. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
And here.
When I grow up, I'm gonna be a cowboy. Nuh-uh, you're gonna be a cowgirl. Oh, I am? Okay.
So overall, for a clip show taking place at Barney's house and the final video to do so, it is a pretty good video. Antoine Steele gives a good and decent performance as Barney. I don't mind the clips of seasons 5 and 6, and it is all around a good Barney clip show. So for that, I will have to give Barney's Pajama Party an 8 out of 10. Well, that's a wrap on the Barney's House era. Next up, we are heading straight towards the hit entertainment era of the Barney home videos. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let me know what are your thoughts on Barney's house. Do you think they could have kept the setting moving forward, or the idea would ruin Cheryl Leach's legacy? Please let me know in the comments. This is Dre Edwards, and I hope that you'll have a great Black History Month.